Have you ever let your emotions get the best of you? Do you feel an emotion coming up and you only stuff it down for fear of exploding or jumping to conclusion? Hi, I'm Debra Kasowski, 3-time best-selling author, speaker, executive coach, and the podcast host of the Millionaire Woman Show. Today, I want to talk to you about mastering your emotions, developing that emotional mastery so that you know how to handle yourself in any situation. See, the thing is, people think emotional mastery means that we turn off the tap to our emotions or we stuff them down so that we don't express them. In my work with emotional intelligence, that's the farthest thing from the truth. So what emotional mastery is the ability to process emotions from a moment-to-moment basis, being able to learn what these emotions are telling us. That's right. Emotions are valuable information. They are not fact. It is information telling us something. It's helping us understand ourselves and how we react to situations. And when those emotions come up, we should be asking ourselves, what is this emotion attempting to tell me? What is it that I need to know? And also accept the emotions that you're having. You know, some people get frustrated or embarrassed if they get angry or if they experience sadness or hurt. We are emotional beings. You want to be able to feel. Those feelings are directing us this way or that way to really pay attention to what that information is that we need to know. One of the things when it comes to mastering your emotions is being able to have the ability to come from a place of being a learner, being curious about what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, to help understand those feelings and that emotion that's coming up for you. What that does is it helps us understand, is the emotion I'm feeling giving me value? Is it giving me valuable information? By asking questions, you can challenge assumptions and become open to possibilities and see possibilities that you might not have seen before. So emotions often drive much of our decision making. And I'm going to talk about a few emotions. There are several, but there are a few that stand out amongst the crowd of them. So those emotions, those feelings, it's that soft skill that people don't often want to talk about. So if we talked about fear, for example, fear usually comes up when someone is anxious about a situation, there's indecision, or they're concerned or worried about something. When people act on fear, those emotions come up because they are ruminating, they're worried about things. And that, I don't know if you've heard it, but there's an acronym called false evidence appearing real for fear. And that here's the thing, we need to determine if our fears are indeed real or they are imagined. Because our imagination can take us on a wild goose chase of so many emotions, so many possibilities, so many thoughts, that you need to really start asking yourself questions and being that learner and being curious to really understand, is this emotion really telling me that? Or have I gone into a place where my imagination has taken hold of some pieces of information, not the whole picture, and have taken me down a wild goose chase? For the most part, fear often shows up when people feel that they lack information or they're lacking in preparation, so they don't feel confident or competent with carrying through whatever task it is that they have. So if someone had a fear of public speaking, they might be fearful that they didn't prepare enough for the talk, or they don't have the skill set or the knowledge to who's going to believe what they're saying. You know, so this is where some of these fears come up, and they're imagined, many of them. The other emotion that comes up often is anger. And anger is a really interesting emotion. It is one that tells us a lot. Often anger shows up for people when boundaries that they have set or implied rules that they've had set for themselves have been crossed. Anger is telling us that something's just not right. And that's why people get triggered and often go into that angry state. That angry state also shows up when people misinterpret information. This is when miscommunication comes up, or they see a scenario and they've already put an interpretation, but it's incorrect. And because it's incorrect, and those assumptions pop up or they jump to conclusions, that anger comes up because how could they? How dare they? All of these situations bubble up those emotions. So we want to be able to take a step back. And one of the best ways to interrupt any thought pattern is to go ahead and take a deep breath. That deep breath in and, let it out slowly. Pay attention to the emotion. Emotions last for about 90 seconds. Feel that emotion, breathe through that emotion, and know that our emotions change from moment to moment, depending on how much attention and focus you put on that emotion in the moment. So as we talked about how fear comes up because of lack of knowledge and preparation, one of the things that I want to reassure you is as you start to master these emotions, to first of all, recognize, identify that these emotions are happening. Acknowledge that this is part of who you are. You are an emotional being, that you have these emotions and they're telling you something. They are information. So determine what that information is so that you can make the best decision, take the best actions moving forward. But one of the biggest things is knowing that you are competent and you have the confidence to handle this. Whatever emotions come up for you, don't be afraid of them. Again, remember and remind yourself emotions are not facts, but they are information to help guide you and give you alert to how you're feeling from a moment-to-moment basis. And here's the greatest things. When emotions come up, it's not the first time that you've ever experienced that emotion, whether it be happiness, elation, bliss, anger, frustration, happiness, joy. At some point, you've felt it before, and you know the passage. The important thing is to remember, was the way that you dealt with your emotions in the past effective and valuable for you? If not, you don't want to repeat the same patterns. So this is when that emotional intelligence really kicks in through experiences and education, is that you can take a step back, take that deep breath, and say, okay, I'm going to handle this a little bit differently. So you have the power to change things up and really create a powerful way of mastering your emotions to get to your end result. So the greatest thing is that you can take the power of these emotions and be able to navigate exactly where it is you need to go. So have the confidence and the competence and feeling prepared to take on whatever it is that you need to. Thank you for joining me. I'm Debra Kasowski. Go over to my website and check out your 3-part video course of Making Habits Stick. Let's help you put focus and consistency behind those dreams and goals to knock them out of the park and make them a reality. You can go to www.debrakasowski.com to get it today.